Alrighty, I'm PJ. This is PJ's Harmony Kitchen Delights. Today we are back in the Harmony High School kitchen, and today it is pizza day. To be fair, I eat pizza way too much, so I'm not going to be making pizza today. I'm going to be making Flammkuchen. It is a German French dish, often considered a sort of pizza. Personally, it's not a pizza. It is Flammkuchen, flamed cake. So let's get that started. We're going to be making our own dough. Then we're going to be using creme fraiche as our base sauce with onions, bacon, and spices. Stay tuned to the end because we're going to be also making one with apples and cinnamon and sugar. So if you're excited, let's get started. All right, everyone, we're going to be starting out with making our dough. We're going to be starting out by taking 2 cups of flour, bit below 2 cups actually, but it doesn't matter too much. Then we're going to form a little well in here. Okay, as you see, there's a well, and we're going to be cracking just one egg into here, 1 egg yolk. Okay, gonna throw that away. Then we're going to take 1 tablespoon of olive oil to drizzle it on top, and in there actually we're going to use more like 1.5 to 2. And we're going to also be using just a slight bit of salt. Measure it out by hand. It'll be fine either way. Okay. Now we're going to be adding 100 milliliters of warm, not cold, and not hot water. That was about 100 milliliters. So let's take a whisk and whisk it up, and then let's go over to our hands and continue with those. Also, personally, I recommend having a little more flour and a little more water right beside you so you can improve your dough in case it is too dry or way too wet. As you might be able to see here, my dough seems pretty dry currently. So I'm going to be adding just a little bit more water. See, that should be enough. And then start massaging the dough with our hands. After, I'll take a bit more flour. Now that might be a little messy, but it doesn't matter because you definitely washed your hands before you started this. Well, you'll want to have an eye on your dough, so you can add some more water over the process of forming your dough into a ball. If your dough is too sticky and tends to stick to your fingers, go ahead and add some more flour. All right, whenever your dough looks like this and is not too moist anymore, you can just get rid of your bowl because you will need to start netting the dough in just a second. You will want to net the dough until it is one nice and even ball that springs back just a little when you press into it with your thumb. As you can see, your dough is starting to become one singular ball that looks still a bit shaggy, but with enough netting and massaging the dough, it'll be smooth. All right, whenever your dough looks like a smooth ball, you will want to just cover it with olive oil. All right. And then you want to wrap it up or put it in an airtight bag so you can let your dough rest for a minimum of 30 minutes. All right, let's do that real quick. All right, now that we've made the dough and the dough is resting, it is time to just upgrade our creme fraiche just a little bit. Here we have our Vermont creme fraiche. You can get it at your local grocery store, I believe. Just take about half of that right here, then add just a little bit of onion powder and black pepper. That you just want to mix up for just a little upgraded base sauce. Maybe add a little more pepper. And that should be fine. We will not need too much of this. Okay, now let's put this to the side again and start cutting up the onion that we're going to put on top of the Flammkuchen. And we should be fine already with half an onion because we just go ahead and cut them up into a bit finer pieces because we do not want to have a big bite of onion later on. All right, now let me just put that onion into here and let's save that for when we start putting on the toppings of our Flammkuchen. Here we go. We have our 2 onions here. And then now the final ingredient that we're going to top off the Flammkuchen with, chives. You can get those at your local grocery store too, but I personally recommend you'll get them from your local farmer's market. And also they're pretty expensive at the grocery store, I have to say. All right, for the moment, we should be fine with just 1 pack of chives. And then let's start going back to our dough because that should be done resting by now. All right, now that our dough has rested for long enough, let's start it up and let's roll it out. All right. We have our good old dough here. Nice. Okay, let's take a little flour, put it onto our work surface so the dough doesn't stick. Okay. Let's also take some flour, put it onto our rolling pin. Let's just start by rolling this out. Might have been better if it would be a little stickier, but this is fine. All right, you will want to roll out and thin in your dough till it is about at least this thin. You see, it is almost translucent. I almost can see the color of my skin through it. At least that thin, maybe even a bit thinner. Traditionally, Flammkuchen are often round or squared. Ours, we're gonna give it a mix and match. Alrighty, now look at this thin piece of dough. Alrighty, now that we have rolled out our dough, let's go ahead and put all the things that we want on it. Okay, just give it a few dents so the sauce will stick better, and then let's go ahead and use our creme fraiche with our garlic powder and our black pepper and like put it on there. Put it on in a thin layer, don't put it too thick, but also don't put it too thin. There's a fine line here that you will want to walk. All right, now let's go ahead and put our bacon on there. Thank you so much for Avers for sponsoring this episode and letting me use their bacon. Go ahead, spread it out generously. You can use any bacon. Already smoked and pre-cooked bacon is going to be by far the best. We might even have a bit much bacon here, but it's going to be delicious. Okay, we're going to use half of our onion that we cut up. I'm going to just put them out onto Flammkuchen, or as the French call it, Tarte flambée. All right. Right, that amount of onions is probably going to be good, and it's going to be good tasting. That's what matters. Let's go ahead and top it off with some chives. Make sure that they're evenly spread out. All right. We will want to go ahead and put this into our oven and bake for probably only around 10 minutes at 450, 430. So stay with it, give it a couple looks whenever you put it into the oven, and make sure it doesn't burn. Okay, now let's make the sweet one really quick, and let's put them both in. All right, we're gonna put them in the oven. Alrighty, here we have our sweet version of Flammkuchen. It is made from the same dough as I showed you to make earlier. Then, for the sauce, we didn't put any garlic powder, any onion powder, or any black pepper in it because we want the sweetness of it. Just throw on some apples, some cinnamon, and some sugar, and you should be good to go. All right, here we have it, the final Flammkuchen. It is out of the oven. Let me give it a try, and then let me tell you how it is. I gotta say, that's actually a pretty good home interpretation of a self-made Flammkuchen. In the United States of America, we didn't have kvark, which is also often used for the base sauce of the Flammkuchen. Shout out to Avers and shout out to the Studio Rhino crew from Harmony School. They helped me a bunch while filming this episode. Thank you so much to y'all, and I hope you enjoyed. If you all cooked it with me, please let me know how it is in Instagram. Send me a few DMs, send me a few pictures. I'd love to see how y'all's turned out. Thank you. And tschüss.